pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to ask if all the council members will please to turn on your microphones.
Ms. Webb,
Right.
Ms. Abdo.
Thank you. Good evening, honorable city council members, to our chief of staff who's sitting in for the mayor, to our city attorney, to the administrative staff and audience. Welcome to the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting, and today's date is Monday, October 25th, 2021. Members of the public wishing to participate in this meeting may do so under the public comment portion of the agenda. Please fill out a request to speak public comment card located on the table in the back of the chambers, and you can hand it to me, the city clerk. Additionally, members of the public who are viewing tonight's meeting via our broadcast channel or YouTube Live can submit their comments to publiccomment@romulusgov.com. And at this time, Mr. Chair, we will have roll call. Councilwoman Abdo. Here. Councilman Barton.
Here.
Councilwoman Roscoe.
Here.
Councilwoman Talley.
Here.
Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
Councilwoman Webb.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
City Council, we've submitted to you an amended agenda. The warrant was amended, so that's what we emailed it to you. You should have a hard copy was placed in your mailboxes for this evening. So therefore, the amended agenda for tonight's meeting is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. Number 4, chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6, clerk's report. 7, treasurer's report. 8, public comment. 9, unfinished business. 10, new business. 11, warrant. 12, communication. And number 13, adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the amended regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the amended agenda of the city council meeting as presented. Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the amended agenda as presented. Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, number 2, minutes for approval are the minutes from the regular meeting held on Monday, October the 11th, 2021 at 7:30 p.m.
I'm so moved for the council meeting of the 11th of October at 7:30.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, for approval of the minutes from the regular meeting, October the 11th, 2021 at 7:30. Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. Number 3, petitioner. Tonight, Mr. Chair and Council, we do have petitioners on the agenda, and I'm going to call up Bob McCrate, and he will introduce our guest.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'll introduce you, although he probably needs no introduction. They've been here so much lately with their development. But Johnny Sweeney from North Point is going to do a presentation here on Royal Farms.
Good evening, members of council. Thank you, Bob. Have a short presentation for you tonight. It's good to see you again. We're here to present Royal Farms as a special land use as part of the development we've been discussing. I do have some exciting news to share. We were able to present this to the Planning Commission last week that we are now under contract with Royal Farms to purchase this site. So that continues to advance and showing real progress from their perspective on the due diligence as well. I did want to thank Bob and the mayor very quickly too, because this was a true recruiting effort. They have no locations outside of the East Coast, and the fact that they're in front of you tonight says a lot of the for the efforts of the city. So this will just be brief here. So here's the site plan. As you can picture this, it's at the southwest corner of the site, and I wanted to call out a couple of things because we've put a big focus on listening to you. You can obviously see the extensive landscaping really on all sides of this particular piece of the development, and then 2 items on traffic here, so no truck parking overnight, and then the only access is from Vining, and then it would have to circulate through the back the same way that we've shown you, the only way they can exit the entire park. So it's basically one feeder route for them, and it addresses all the concerns we believe that we've discussed before. Just a couple other quick slides here. I think you've seen the location. From our standpoint, we believe this is a first-class operation, both in look and also in use. Again, a slide you've seen before, but all the things that we're really excited to help bring to you. And with that, I know you have a lot on your minds and agenda. Happy to answer any questions, and we appreciate your consideration tonight.
Any questions, council?
So you're asking council to give you a special land use for what purpose?
So the special land use is for 2 things. There's a car wash and then a fuel station.
So that wasn't included in your original plan? Or this is something that you needed to do after the council approved it?
It was included in the original plan, and then the way the process works, my understanding is that following our initial meeting with you, then we would go to Planning Commission for their approval of that, or their recommendation, and then be back here with you all the time.
And as I said to your company before, you're saying that we're excited for you to bring Royal Farms. As I said to you before, to me, it's not a restaurant. It's not something, regardless of what the council agrees with, it's not what the residents been asking for. As I said before, and I'm not attacking, your Royal Farms, but this is nothing other than maybe what you may consider a high-end speedway. What the residents been looking for, from what I've been told, is a restaurant, somewhere to go in and sit down and eat. Not something we already have similar to that. I know you're excited. You say the council is excited. I'm not. Because that is a very, very popular and precious area over there. That's pretty much one of the only areas left in our city that connects to 94. And for your company to present to us as the legislative body, the Royal Farm, and a bunch of industrial buildings, it doesn't make me happy. And so it's not a personal attack that I don't agree with you, but with Amazon and some of the other industrial buildings that's around residential areas, that's really not benefiting our residents as a whole. I mean, you got a job to do, but to bring in, and if I'm not mistaken, Ms. Watoka, you can correct me, aren't our city in contract with Speedway for gas? It's one of the, no? No, so we still with Mobile?
I would have to verify which carriers we are. We use several throughout the community, but I don't believe Speedway is one of them. But I will verify that for you.
Okay, well, and then that can't be verified right now, but, my concern is, as I said, competition is good for everyone, but at the same time, to my knowledge, Romulus has a contract with Speedway. That's what I was told. So you're talking about less than a mile away, you're coming to actually take away business from Speedway, so that's gonna make, if Romulus do have a contract with Speedway, that's gonna make them go up on their prices, which will affect those that do purchase gas and whatever from Speedway. I'm just saying to you, I don't agree. I don't agree. I think this council, as I said before, could have stayed at the table a little bit longer and had your company to stay out there and reach out to more businesses to get something more of what the residents want. It's not, as I said before, Mr. Barton lives and owns a home over in that particular area, but even the residents, like Amazon, wasn't, really notified that this big company was coming right down the street, and the trucking traffic is getting worse every day, and I haven't heard anything that this company, even though you're off Wick, Smith, and Vining, will help the traffic on Ecorse Road. You have a school there. You have subdivisions on Ecorse Road. I live on Ecorse Road, across Wayne Road, and the traffic is ridiculous. So, in the presentation, you said, what is it, 38 million to the schools over 20 years? So when do that start? And what do the city get? Because I never heard of what benefits come to the city financially. Because the city need money. We don't need friends. We don't need favors. We need money. Because every time the city needs something, they go to the taxpayers. Taxpayers tired of it. I know I am as a taxpayer. So what do you have to offer, or what is this company or any of those industrial businesses, what are they offering our city financially?
So I'm happy to address that. So I think to start, there's obviously the tax revenue, and we've been through that with the larger plan, and obviously tonight we're just here for the special land use, but I would say that kind of we've been through how the TIP is captured and the different revenue streams that provides. There's a lot of employment here. We're projecting over 1,000 new jobs at this development, and the first look would go to Romulus residents. So the first 2 weeks of any job offering will go to Romulus residents. In addition to this right here, one of the most exciting things, and I know I can just speak for myself, I can't speak for anyone else, is what the first olive out of the bottle will do for this development. Because what we've heard from so many, not just in this community, but across the country, is if you can get that corner taken care of, and if you can start your work, we'd love to talk to you. And so what I would love the opportunity to do with your all support is to make this happen, and then hopefully come back to you next year and say exactly the things you're looking for. Here we are again, and we're delivering those.
So you're saying, so do you have a dollar amount? I understand it's TIFA. I understand, you have a dollar amount in the document of what the school district will benefit from over the 20 years. But what amount will the city benefit? And then also you're saying that there's companies out there that's saying if you get that corner, they're willing to talk to you. What companies are? Do you have any names?
We're not at liberty to share that.
Mm-hmm. So is it anything that will actually benefit the residents other than industrial buildings?
Yes, it is.
John, any question?
I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
So my concern, like I said, and this will be the final, I just wanted to make sure, it's not that I'm picking on your company or anything, but I want to make sure that I'm responding to the residents' requests. Not so much of what somebody want me to do, but what's best for the community. That's a community down the street from, that corner. So it's going to be a big impact. Is it anything in the contract that says that you're partnering with the city to keep the roads developed?
To keep
The roads, so you're going to be using Smith, Vining, and Witt?
the roads, yes. There's several improvements contemplated, and we're going to make a pretty substantial investment in improving the infrastructure to address what the development will bring.
So you're saying there's no dollar amount, and is it in writing?
Yes, I believe it's over 2 million, 2.2. I don't have it in front of me, but
So you're going to spend the first two, and then it's TIFA or the DDA refunds that to you,
the TIFA would refund 1 million of that.
back to you, so you're actually only spending one. So I just wanted to be clear, and since the residents were here, I wanted them to understand what was taking place, what you're offering, because a lot of residents out there will be affected by your business. I don't agree. It's nothing personal, but when we make decisions for the residents that we represent, we're supposed to make sure that we're making them satisfied and not just ourselves or, the administration or whoever wants us to approve this. And that's why I ask so many questions, because I want to be sure of why I vote the way I vote. Thank you.
We're going to have Mr. Wadsworth, then Ms. Roscoe, and then Ms. Abdo speak.
Thank you, John. One question first. Is this just a car wash or it's a truck wash, or both?
Just car.
Pardon me? I can barely hear you.
I'm sorry.
Is that mic on? You speak on it.
Just the car.
Just a car wash.
Yes.
That's a positive thing for me. This project isn't a perfect project, but I believe it's the beginning of something after years of looking at vacant property up there. And I think you've done a lot of work behind this, and if I happen to get reelected next week and come back and you don't do what you say, I'll definitely remind you about it. But I think it's the beginning of something finally taking place up there. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Abdo.
I just want to make sure that there is no overnight parking for trucks there. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's been specifically designed to eliminate that.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Roscoe.
Tonight, this special land use is just pertaining to the gas station and the car wash. And if there's no other questions, I'll make that motion.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe. Was that supported by Ms. Webb? Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry. Next on the agenda, number 4, the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good evening, everyone. We had a 6:45 meeting tonight. That was to discuss the proposed amendments to long-term parking facilities for the park and fly and cell towers lighting regulations. At this time, I'm going to recognize Councilwoman Abdo.
Thank you. I have two things. First of all, I would like to ask for a memorial resolution for Robbie Orm. Robbie grew up in Romulus. After attending Western Michigan, she returned to her hometown, where she taught 2nd and 3rd grade for 33 years. She was a teacher here in our district for 33 years. Her husband was a teacher, very involved in the community.
Support.
And for those who may be interested, Wednesday, October 27th, the memorial's from 2 to 8 at Michigan Memorial.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for a memorial resolution. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Go ahead, another, Ms. Abdo.
Thanks, Mr. Barton. Last week, we got a letter which you shared with us from a resident in Romulus, and his name is Mr. James Vernatter. He lives on Ecorse Road. And I spoke with some of you about this, and I went out there, and he was complaining over the fact that the Mid-Michigan concrete rock and crushing was just dust everywhere. And his complaints were well-founded. There was dust everywhere. Ordinance came out, thank you, Ordinance, and they gave them, they ticketed them for the excess dust. And even though they had water trucks on site, they were not spraying down, which would have helped a lot. A citation was issued by Ordinance, and this company has received a permit for paving, but one of the problems is that, the whole supply chain, they're waiting for the paving. And once the paving is installed, and I've told Mr. Vernatter that they, it should cut the problem down like that was intended to do when they were approved. Until then, they said they will continue to water the site. And I've asked Ms. Waitoko if she would reach out on behalf of the council, because I know I talked to some of you guys about this, and let them know all the steps that are being taken, what has been taken, and how soon he can expect some more relief. I know he's got immediate relief right now with the rain, but it was bad out there. It was really bad. And he said to say thank you to the Ordinance and to everybody who reached out. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Abdo. Now, the chair going to recognize Mr. Wadsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. I'd like a proclamation for Mayor Burkhoff, who is going to be leaving office on the 8th of November for his 24 years of service here to the city.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for proclamation.
Wouldn't that be a resolution? Can the council give a proclamation?
Okay, make it a resolution, proclamation.
We'll do resolution.
What we done.
Okay. That was motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes, but I do have a question.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Webb.
I can't hear, so I didn't hear who this is for. We're not getting any feedback.
Mayor Burkhoff, Eva.
Oh, I had no idea. I didn't even hear it.
I can relate to.
I didn't hear who it was.
I can relate to not hearing too.
No, these microphones are not.
I think the microphones are turned down low.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, so.
I mean, with this
Testing.
with this last gentleman, I had to really strain to hear him.
Oh,
I couldn't hear
yeah.
him at all hardly.
And even with the attorney earlier.
Yeah, you might have to lean in a little bit.
Okay, thank you, and yes.
Okay. Let's see where I'm at now.
Sorry. You gotta get me
Ms. Abdo.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Also now, the chair is going to recognize Ms. Roscoe.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to ask for a memorial resolution for Nancy Brewer. She was one of our election workers, and with support, I would like to turn that over, if I can get support for that.
Support.
And I would like to turn it over to our clerk for comments, being that she was one of our election workers.
Thank you, City Council members. Nancy Boulder, she served on our election inspector board ever since I've been here, and I'm sure she served when Mrs. Choate and Mrs. Webb were in the clerk's office, but very nice lady. She was the inspector in Precinct 5, lifetime resident, and she passed away on October the 19th. We had just really found out that she had been ill, but really nice lady who loved the community, and she also enjoyed her pets. So so unfortunately, she lost her pet earlier last year, and so now she's gone, and so it's just, she's truly going to be missed. Just a very nice lady. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Any other comments?
No, I don't. Thank you, Ellen.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's been motioned by, any comment?
Oh, I was just going to say, Nancy worked in Precinct 5, which is my precinct where I go to vote, and known her for years and years, and she will be really missed.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. And that concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good evening, City Council. The first item on the mayor's report this evening, item 5A, is a request for authorization to purchase through our sole source purchase program 10 Boulder Wrap remote restraint devices with holsters, attachments, and cartridges for a total cost of $14,000 from Vance Outdoors Incorporated, and funds have been verified and are available for this expenditure.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Wadsworth?
I will move that we approve the sole source purchase of non-lethal Boulder Wrap for the Romulus Police Department.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for sole source purchase, non-legal Boulder Wrap for Romulus Police Department. Any discussion?
I just had something to say. I wish that the chief or somebody was here to give me some, how they, I don't even know what this is. I'm
It's a
thinking it's
restraint.
one thing, but it may be something else. There you go, Captain, Lieutenant. I'm good.
Oh, he's going to show us.
You're going to show us?
On this particular project.
Okay.
What the Boulder Wrap is like it was indicated, it's a non-lethal restraint device. In a nutshell, it's remote handcuffs. So due to our large mental health population in our city, we were looking for some ways to kind of mitigate danger to them and danger to us. So what this Boulder Wrap is, it's pretty new technology. Best description is something you might find on Batman's utility belt. It shoots out Teflon cable that loosely restrains an individual. It's more of a shock, and it kind of gives us that split second to go in and kind of react. There's been numerous applications where had we had something like this, would have prevented us from having to go hands-on with somebody, and we all know how that looks when the police have to go hands-on. So in a nutshell, that's what it is. If anybody needs more information, you can kind of go on YouTube and look up Boulder Wrap, and you'll see some of the devices. It is pretty painless. There's no pain compliance. It's a restraint device.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. As
We
well,
appreciate your explanation.
really appreciate that clarification, yeah. Okay, thank you. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next item on the mayor's report, item 5B, is a request to concur with the administration and award bid ITB 2122-06, and that's for demolition list 20-01 for the properties as listed on the, in front of you, to the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder, Blue Ribbon Contracting, in the amount of $82,720.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Roscoe?
I'll make that motion for ITB 21/22-06 for the demolition list 20-01 for all the listed addresses on our second page.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley for ITB 21/22-06 demolition list 20-01. Any discussion?
Yes. And just to make this clear, I'm not trying to prolong anything, but I received a call from the residents at the address 11528 Whitehorn, and I also contacted Councilwoman Webb. He informed both of us that he received a visit from Blue Ribbon Contracting, and they stated to him that they would be there today to, start with his home, tearing it down. So I'm looking at the document. How could they have the authority before it's approved here tonight from council to make a visit to him to, do a demolition on his property when we're just now approving it tonight? I know myself, called to the building department several times, left messages. Mr. McCray never got back with us. He contacted myself, and I contacted Councilwoman Webb. So I want to be clear. We are just, because I want to make sure we follow the process. We're just now approving them this bid to tear down these homes. How is it that they can pay a visit to a resident on Thursday? This is Monday. We're just not approving it. So did someone give them the authority to go ahead and alert homeowners that they're coming back Monday? And I'm not for sure. I haven't talked to that resident today to see did they go. But just to let you know, Mayor Chief of Staff, that did happen. We did reach out several times, never got a response from the building department. He contacted me on Saturday. I shared that information with Councilwoman Webb. So I want to be clear, because today is Monday.
I can answer that for you. I do know for sure that the resident actually spoke to staff from the building department. And furthermore, there may have been some miscommunication when the contractor, who is also a longtime contractor in our community, this is not their first demolition list that they've done. So there may have been some confusion, but we would never issue a permit for a demolition without a bid being awarded. So I apologize if there was any confusion on his part, but I do know he talked to staff on Friday, so hopefully that was cleared up, but absolutely not.
Well, they didn't clear it up. I know he talked to Jenny because I was on the phone, and then he actually made a visit. But the issue is, can you make sure, because you're really good at that, can you make sure this resident is contacted to allow him to know? I mean, what's on the agenda is on the agenda. It's nothing we can do, but at the same time, let him know that the city did not send those contractors out there to tell him that last Thursday. And he said the ordinance department informed him to move all the property from one location over to another location. And so if you could please contact Mr. Holliday and inform him what's going on, so he's not furious with the city or the council because he's been misled. I appreciate it.
I'll be more than happy to give him a call.
Thank you.
If there's no other comments, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next item on the mayor's report, item 5C, is a request to concur with the administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to extend the professional services agreement with Rowe Professional Services Company until December 31st, 2021.
Yes, Ms.
I'd
Webb?
like to make that motion to concur with the administration and authorize the mayor and the clerk to extend the professional services agreement with Rowe Professional Services Company until December 31st, 2021.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe for professional services agreement extension by Rowe. Any discussion?
Yes. So we're doing, and this is through the chair to the administration, we're doing, is this an extension or is this a new contract?
So their existing contract would have expired at the end of the month.
Okay.
And so the new administration, I'm sure will bring something back to council
Okay.
moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
No other comments? Roll call vote. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council, and other than an item for your information provided by the mayor under 5D, that will conclude the mayor's report this evening.
Thank you, Chief of Staff.
Number 6 is clerk's report.
Part D.
We got a D? Where?
Can I ask through
Oh.
the chair?
FYI.
I hear we haven't completed this. Emergency repair, lifeboat sanitary sewer.
Ms. Roscoe?
We have one more item, item D.
Right.
It's
She just
FYI.
said-
Action requested.
FYI.
Just wanted it noticed.
Oh, okay. Okay. Madam Clerk.
Number 6 is the clerk's report, 6A, for approval of traffic control order at intersections Jones Street and Central Street. It is requested that council concur with the recommendation of Robert Faunus, the chief of police, and approve a traffic control order providing for the addition of stop signs on Jones and Central in the city of Romulus.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman, I will move that we approve the long overdue traffic control device at the intersection of Jones and Central.
Support.
Question.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the traffic control order, intersection of Jones Street and Central Street. Discussion? You have discussion?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Through the chair. Reading through this, I don't really see like a date or a time this will go into effect. Like when will they get out there and put these stop signs up? Do we know that? Because I know that's going to be a question that the residents are going to ask now that it's been approved.
Good evening, council. So as soon as that TCO goes into effect and it's approved tonight,
Okay.
we can probably have a stop sign, or the 2 stop signs that are required probably within 2 weeks. I don't want to give a, I don't want to say tomorrow, we've got a pretty booked up schedule, but we'll get it out there as soon as we can.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. 6A, for second reading and final adoption of amendment to Chapter 2, Article 7, Sections 2-409 and 2-410 of the Romulus Code of Ordinance. Section 2-409, this is appointment of the Board of Cemetery Trustees. The changes are that it increases the total number of trustees to 6. That 6th trustee would be a council representative, being a non-voting trustee of the board. And Section 2-410, duties of the Board of Cemetery Trustees. The amendment is to modify the language to be consistent with Home Rule City Act of 1909 and council's intention of having the Board of Cemetery Trustees the purpose, maintenance, preservation, and management of the Romulus Memorial Cemetery. For second reading, final adoption.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Roscoe.
I would like to make that motion for second reading and final adoption of amendments to Chapter 2, Article 7 of the Cemetery Ordinance.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Tally. Second reading and final adoption of amendment to Chapter 2, Article 7, Cemetery Ordinance. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
The chair votes yes, motion approved.
6C, for first reading and introduction to TA-2021-001 zoning ordinance amendment, long-term parking facilities.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make that motion for first reading and introduction to TA-2021-001 zoning ordinance amendment, long-term parking facilities with language that the legislative body agreed upon at our meeting earlier before the second reading.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mrs. Webb, supported by Mrs. Roscoe. First reading and introduction to TA 2021-001 zoning ordinance amendment, long-term parking facilities. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Did I say Ms. Talley?
Nope, but
Oh, Ms. Talley. Okay. Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6D, for first reading and introduction to TA-2021-002 zoning ordinance amendment, wireless facilities.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion
Okay.
for first reading and introduction to TA-2021-002 for the zoning ordinance amendment to wireless facilities.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth. First reading and introduction to TA-2021-002 zoning ordinance amendment, wireless facilities. Any discussion? Go ahead.
Because I wasn't here during this discussion, does this have anything to do with the 5G towers? No. No? Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6E, for first reading and introduction to TA-2021-003 zoning ordinance amendment, lighting.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for first reading and introduction to TA 2021-003 zoning ordinance amendment for lighting.
Support.
A motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley. First reading and introduction to TA 2021-003 zoning ordinance amendment, lighting. Any discussion? No discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
The last agenda item under the clerk's report is 6F, and this is for first reading and introduction to an amendment to Chapter 58, Traffic and Motor Vehicles, Section 58-66 and 58-67 Code of Ordinances.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make that motion for first reading and introduction to the amendment, Chapter 58.
Support.
The motion by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe. First amendment, introduction to amendment, Chapter 58, Traffic and Motor Vehicles, 58-68 and 58-67, Code Ordinance. Any discussion?
Yes.
Discussion.
Again, is this speaking of the parking, like at the Parking Gold or the hotels, of who can park? Anyone can answer that?
Yes, we already have an ordinance with regards to filing and obtaining a license from the clerk if you're going to have park and fly facilities. And this was just modifications to that ordinance. The biggest modification being to clarify that you have to register with Department of Treasury for the state and pay the parking tax and collect it from those who park.
You said, so whoever stay at the hotel and park overnight, or that park and leave?
Park and leave. It does not cover someone who's staying on the premises of the hotel.
And so they would have to register with the Department of Treasury?
The hotel would, if they're going to
Okay, the
offer
hotel,
that.
okay.
The hotel would.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you wasn't putting that burden on them.
No.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes the action items, but before I close out my report, I have a few reminders concerning elections that I'd like to share with residents and our listening audience. First, I want to remind everyone that absentee ballot voting is still available, and it's to all registered voters. We have some extended hours this week, beginning Friday. The clerk's office will be open from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m. on Friday, and that will be the last day a voter can request an absentee ballot by mail. On Saturday, October the 30th, the clerk's office will be open from 8 o'clock a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. and for voters who would like to vote an absentee ballot, you can come in person to request your ballot, and you can take the ballot home with you. The following Monday, the day before the election, November the 1st, between the hours of 8 and 4 o'clock p.m., that will be the last day a registered voter can request an absentee ballot. You must request that ballot in person, and you can't take it home with you. Again, you'll have to come to the clerk's office to vote your ballot. For those at home that still have their absentee ballots out there, we want to remind you it may be a little bit too late if you plan on putting that ballot in the mail. It takes sometimes 3 to 5 days for the ballots, just, by the time you drop it in the mail before we get it. And so just to ensure that we get it on time, we have some drop boxes that are available. We have a drop box that's located in front of City Hall, and a second one that's located in front of our senior center. And as always, you're welcome to drop your ballot off in person at the clerk's office. We'd love to see you and answer any questions that you may have. Absentee ballots are due by 8 o'clock p.m. on Election Day, so anything after that will not be counted. And as always, we have a website that's full of a lot of information, and that's at www.romulusgov.com under election information. And you can always give us a call at 734-942-7540. Thank you, Mr. Chair. That concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
And that will take us number 7. There is no treasurer's report this evening. So,
Madam Clerk, I have some questions from council.
Now, did you say that Monday would be the last day that they can vote absentee?
that they can request an absentee ballot.
So the election day, if a person wanted to vote and hadn't been registered, can they come to your office?
Correct. If they are not registered, they can come to the clerk's office and register to vote. They must have their photo ID and proof of residency. They have the option of voting an absentee ballot on that day, or we would give them like a registration receipt, and then they could go to the polls. So the voter has the option. So that's the only condition in which an absentee ballot can be issued after 4 o'clock on Monday.
But if a person haven't registered the day of the election, they can't
Yes,
come to
same
you?
day registration.
Okay.
Same day
I just
registration,
wanted-
yes.
Okay.
Yep, they can come and see us. And again, the important thing what happens, a lot of people come in to register and they don't have the proper proof of residency, or their photo ID. So those are the two items. And if you're not sure what you need, just give us a call. We'll work with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank
Mr.
you.
Wadsworth, did you have something? Okay. Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk.
Okay, that concludes the clerk's report. There is no treasurer's report, and that takes us to number 8, public comment, and this is the portion of the agenda for those that are in the audience who would like to address City Council. The rules to address City Council can be found on the back of your meeting agenda. If you would like to address City Council, please raise your hand, and after you've been acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium. We ask for the record that you state your name. Please note that members of the public who submitted a public comment card will be called upon first. You will have 3 minutes to speak, and any additional time will be upon the consent of the chairperson. As a reminder, members of the public who are watching or viewing tonight's meeting via the city's broadcast channel or the YouTube Live can submit their public comments to publiccomment@romulusgov.com before the end of the public comment portion of the agenda. Mr. Chair and Council, we do have one written request.
Okay.
And from Kevin Watson, please approach the podium. And again, just for the record, state your name. Be sure to speak into the mic so that.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
All right, good.
Sounds good, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I want to address something that happened last Wednesday in my neighborhood, in the Niagara neighborhood, which is the power outage. DTE Energy did send out advance notices saying that the power would be out at 6 p.m. and it only lasts for 1 hour. That power outage lasted for over 3.5 hours. And I know as the city can only do so much, but is there any chance that the city can at least ask DTE if they're going to do this in the future to please do it at a better time than 6 o'clock in the evening? Because that's dinner time for a lot of families, and you're sitting 3 hours in the darkness, you know? And it should be done in the daytime or even on a weekend, you know? So anybody have any ideas of how to approach this?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead,
Is that something we can complain to the Michigan Public Service Commission? The Michigan Public Service Commission is who is over the utilities. I would suggest that we file a complaint with them. Because he's right, there's no reason to be out of, first they tell them an hour and then they do 3 hours during dinner time. That's wrong. And they have to be accountable. So maybe we could contact the Michigan Public Service Commission with a complaint?
And through the chair, if I could, please.
Yes, go ahead.
So last Friday, several members of staff participated in a meeting with Wayne County Executive's Office and also representatives from DTE. And they kind of shared what their plan is moving forward. They've got a fairly aggressive plan to get in and deal with some of the, I guess I'll say, forestry issues, trying to get these trees trimmed. We all know it's a problem. They know it's a problem. Doesn't fix it. But what I can say is we got some fairly good feedback from them and also some new representation that, information that we didn't have before. So we definitely will share your concerns. I agree. No time is a good time to have a power outage, but dinner time is definitely not a good time.
Exactly, and the fact that this has been, I can see if this is just a one-time thing, but since July, we've had 10 power outages.
Right.
And, they talk about cutting down the trees and everything. If you go by my neighborhood right there by Henry Ruff and Beverly, right there on Henry Ruff, there's vines growing all over the lines right there. That's the proof right there. And I see DT trucks drive right past it like it's nothing. That should be trimmed, and along with all the other lines in the city.
I agree. And our community was one that was mentioned as one of the communities that they are giving, closer attention to because we've had so many outages. So we definitely hear you, and I will get that message through, and I agree. So, and as we're notified of it, we'll do our best to get the information out to the residents as well. I know they did send out a letter, but it's always good to have that extra reminder just in case, so.
Right.
Okay.
And I do have one other question. Last week, there was a mailer from a group in Oakland County about things going on here in Romulus, and I just want to know, why is Oakland County concerned with the city of Romulus and spreading lies about Alan Lambert?
That's not an issue we discuss.
I received that also, and I was very disappointed that someone from another county, not another city, another county would use dirty, underhanded tactics to send to our residents to try to persuade an election. I've said at this council meeting, I don't know how many times, that we, the residents of Romulus, because I'm a resident first before I'm a council person, is not going to allow voter suppression, voter intimidation, voter harassment of any sort. The rest of my council members, I'm sure if they didn't get it, they heard about it. It doesn't say a lot about us. It doesn't. To act like, for something like that to come in the mail and say, Lambert versus reality, we know what reality is. Reality is that we haven't been doing what we should have been doing. We can't talk about a candidate without talking about ourselves. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves because we don't support one person or another, for it to be okay from someone else that is connected to one of the candidates to send literature to us as residents trying to persuade our vote. I hope the residents are smarter than they think we are. I hope the residents take that literature and throw it in the garbage, because that's who it came from. Using dirty tactics to win the election is unacceptable. To sit up here and act like we're the best that ever sit up here is wrong. It's a bald-faced lie. So many things have happened. Sir, I didn't get your last name.
Watson.
But so many things have happened. And we tend to, in 2021, act like it's okay. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not okay. I'm not going to tolerate it. And I'm going to speak about it. Because the residents of this city, whether they voted for me or not, expected me to be up here telling the truth. Not to sugarcoat, not to go along with things that are not fair and right for us as residents. And especially myself. I start with myself. I sit here. I said this the last meeting. I understand most of my colleagues don't like me. I understand that. But I don't know what to tell them. Go to the doctor. Get a prescription. I don't know. But I'm here to do what's right. I'm here because whatever happens to any of you, whether you're residents or not, it's going to affect me sooner or later. The things that's going on in this city with this election, we need to stop trying to act like it's not happening, because it is. It done became real personal, real personal. It's wrong, and it must stop. I said at the last meeting, stop, don't do it. What did they do? They took it to another level. So what did I do? I took it to another level. So if the state police have to come in and start putting handcuffs on individuals, so be it. But I say to the residents, those that are here and those that are watching, that piece of literature was a piece of trash. It was an attempt to trash the candidate that they didn't support. And how can Oakland County tell anybody in Wayne County, especially in the city of Romulus, what's going on? So much detailed information was in that piece of literature, two-sided, which was a bunch of lies. You know, it went on to say one important thing. It said how so many people got laid off. Well, we look at the time that we were in. We was in a time that the market had crashed, okay? We had just after all of that, I think it was maybe about 2 years ago, this administration shut down Ordinance, a department that we desperately need. Look around your city. Laid off two most important employees. If I'm not mistaken, one was the director and the other one was up under the director. And they just happened to be African American. Closed down the department, waited, I think maybe 2 months, and then opened it back up. Don't talk about what somebody else is doing before you talk about yourself. Don't. Because none of us on this earth is better than the other. Regardless of what mistake we may make, we're all God's children. So to sit up and try to act like you're the best candidate or you're the better one, let the people decide, not you. Don't talk about what somebody else has done. Tell the people what you've done. Tell the people what you haven't done. Because you're here We're all here, whether we like it or not. Sit up and look sad if you want to. We need to start doing better. The city is not moving forward, so that's a bald-faced lie. We move backwards. We're not moving forward. Just talk to rural farms. They're bringing us industrial buildings. That ain't what the residents want, but we think it's okay. Vote how you want. That's your choice. But then don't tell people that, or residents, or the voters, how they should vote. It don't make sense. I'm gonna vote how I want. It's my vote. I do what I want to do. And then you in the voters' face saying, vote for me, so I can keep mistreating you, so I can keep talking to you like you're nothing. Okay? Election time is not a time, and I'm not doing this because it's election time. This is me all the time. That's why they don't like me. But the principle of everything.
Excuse
don't
me.
be fooled. Excuse me.
Point of order. Point of order.
I'm talking.
Stop. Yeah.
No, I'm talking.
It's nothing.
It doesn't matter. I'm answering the question, Ms. Webb. It doesn't matter. So, and to Mr. Kevin, what I say, and I'm addressing an issue that a resident came up here and was concerned about, because I got that. And I told you about it, and you didn't have anything to say about it, Ms. Webb. So, Mr. Kevin, to that piece of document that came in the mail, and to all residents that got it, it was a slap in our face for somebody from another county to try to tell us how we should vote and who we should vote for in our city. That's my answer.
Okay, Mr. Wadsworth? Do you have anything to say? Mr. Wadsworth?
My comment, Mr. Watson, to you was that I totally agree that 6 p.m. at night was the wrong time to turn your power off. It probably should have been done at 10 o'clock in the morning. And if they tell you 1 hour, it should be 1 hour. It shouldn't be 3.5 hours.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
Now, when I sat here as a colleague, I don't want anyone to accuse me, and none of my colleagues can accuse me of disliking them. I take that personal as well, because I treat every one of my colleagues equally. Secondly, when I say point of order, the gentleman asked 2 questions. It was in regards to the last one. We didn't want to get off from that. We want to stay on what he was saying, because I also wanted to say something. But there are other people in the audience who may want to get up to speak, but I also wanted to say something about the information. No, I didn't receive it in the mail, but I did receive it on my phone. When I look at something that did not come from a candidate or anyone in this city who's running, I throw it in the trash. That's what I do. And because it's not going to make me go one way or the other. The information that I receive in this city is from city candidates. It's for people who live here, who are running for a particular office or an elected position. That's what I read. The other goes in the garbage because they can't vote here, so it means nothing to me. And if you have lived here long enough in this city, you know what has gone on in this city. So I'm not going to sit here and be accused of disliking someone because they talk, because I always go through the front door. I respect every one of my colleagues here. And it doesn't matter. I am not going to go tit for tat, throw the mess in the trash. Your constitutional right, you vote for whomever you please. And that's it. That's the bottom line.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
That was the only written request.
Okay. Any other comments from the audience? Yes, yes.
Everyone, my name is Linda Mitchell. I've lived in Romulus all of my life, except for when I went away to college. My concern is, first of all, I feel like the first thing that should have been on the agenda was Virginia Williams. I really do.
Yeah.
Because her house has pretty much been destroyed, and she has one of the most beautiful homes in Romulus. Her signs, it's graffiti on them. I just feel like we should go another step. This is not the first time, this is the second time. So what are we gonna do? Wait until something happens to her? I think it needs to be addressed. And if Romulus can't handle it, let another department do it.
Thank you. Okay. After, he's first.
This gentleman first?
No, you first.
Thank you.
He got up the same time, I said you go ahead.
I apologize. First off, I want to give the glory to God for having allowed me to stand here and say what I'm about to say. Praise be His name. Today, having called the governor's office over the outrageous, racist act of attempted voter suppression and racial intimidation. This citizen is asking the governor's office, including the FBI and Wayne County Sheriff's Office, to fully investigate this apparent hate crime that has happened to the Honorable Virginia Williams. If this racist act is adjudicated as a hate crime, the dangerous accusations of a duly elected official, those responsible could be looking at large fines and upwards to 10 years in prison if it's adjudicated as a hate crime, which I believe it is. It is time that we get over this foolishness. I ask every citizen who has concern for what's going on in this community and has been overlooked by saying, there is no division in this community. This is a divided community. And it's time we figured out how to put it together. Citizens, let your outrage be heard. Call the governor's office, 517-335-7858. Once again, 517-335-7858. Praise be to God.
I think Mr. Justin had his hand up for a long time.
Yeah, Dale Justice, I was just wondering, this guy's building this farm over here, he says no overnight parking. Okay, what's going to happen if there is overnight parking, and who's going to get fined? It's happened all around through the city, because on my property the same things happened. But the guy sat there and said no overnight parking. So if he's got trucks that are overnight parking, are there going to be a fine? What's going to happen? Council, anybody?
I believe through the, during our meetings, there's not enough space for overnight parking for any of those trucks. And plus, those trucks will not come out and turn right onto Vining. They will not be entering in on E-course. They have to turn left because of the cement bearing, and through there, they can't go over that. They must come out and make a left-hand turn to 94. Also, they will not be able to turn onto Wick Road to go through that subdivision.
So then are you going to fine them, give them a ticket? Because on Inkster Road's the same thing.
Well, if they are caught doing that, yes, they will be fined, but they can't make a right because they can't, there's no driveway for those big trucks to make a right onto Vining to get to E-course.
Okay, but then back to my question, the overnight parking.
No.
What happens if they have overnight parking? Are they going to get fined?
Well, I'm pretty sure they will. Most
Does everybody
definitely,
agree to that,
because
or
it's in
what?
the contract. No, absolutely, no overnight parking. It's
Well,
not
I just want
that
to make
type
sure
of
if they're
place.
overnight parking, they get fined. Because if they get fined, we get money.
Yeah, well,
We
of
need to
course.
do the laws, not overlook the laws. Anybody else?
Ms.
Good
Abdul?
point.
Oh.
Thanks for bringing that up. In the paperwork, it said there will be signs that absolutely no, and I specifically asked that because that's what I'm concerned about. And if they are parked there illegally, they will get ticketed.
Who's getting a ticket, the property owner or the truck driver, because he'd be gone and nobody knows who he is?
That I can't answer.
company-
I would imagine if the company's allowing, it's a violation. I don't know on that
Well, I
one.
think the company should be liable for it.
Good point. Thanks.
Well, no, he asked, he said no overnight parking, that's part of his agenda. Well, if they can't park there, they can't park there, shouldn't, you know. That's why I'm answering the question, they gotta put it in writing.
Okay,
That's a point we need to get in right. You're right. Thanks.
okay. Thank you, Adele. Yes, sir.
I know.
Hello, good evening. My name is Mark Golston. I live on Boulder Street in Romulus. Two issues real quick in 3 minutes. As far as that truck stop goes, that's gonna be an issue anyway. There's motels right there. There's gonna be hookers everywhere. It is. Now, another thing. I live on Water Street and I have a 16-year-old, and there's another young lady that goes to school. She catches the bus on Wayne Road in Boulder. We need some lights on that street. It's very, very dark. We need some lights on that street so our kids could walk down the street, okay? Because sometimes we have to drive my son down there, and, you know, days that we have to work, he has to walk in the dark.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no more other comments? Any more comments? Gina? Okay. Then recognize you with the mask.
I
Yeah.
know. Good to see you guys. Good afternoon, Gina Wilson Stewart. I guess I'm here for Western Wayne County NAACP today. And I just had two quick questions. I know that I saw on the news about what happened to one of the signs of Virginia Williams. I wanted to know, has an investigation been started from the city of Romulus? And has this happened any place else or to any other candidate signs? Two things. Has an investigation been started from the city?
I can say this, I called the police when it was brought to my attention, and they took the report, and no one came out. No one came out to that site to see maybe if there were tracks, because you're talking about a billboard up in the air. So that's not something that just the average person is going to do on a regular basis. But the issue is that there was no lights there on the billboard. And it happened in the wee hours of the morning because I came home late and it, you know, wasn't anything, the sand wasn't damaged. The issue is with our police department, and I was going to bring it to our mayor's chief of staff, even last year, from the 4 times I made the complaint, nothing was done. And I said that before. So that's why, and then this time when they didn't come, I was distraught. I mean, come on now, it's billboards in other parts of the city with my face on it. So why did you pick the billboard outside of my subdivision? You're talking about where the governor was threatened to be kidnapped and her head cut off. The Capitol was, you know, charged and held hostage some of the senators and what's happening in today's time. You don't take it lightly. In 2020, I didn't say much. I made the report, and then I thought maybe, everything will go back to normal. But here we go again, another election, and I'm gonna be a target. Me and my family, because I support one candidate over another. That's what it's about. Voter suppression, voter intimidation, because you could have chose any other billboard any other billboard to Target versus the one right outside of my subdivision. And not only, I called Councilwoman Webb, that was the only council person I called, but not to hear from the police chief, not to hear from any of my colleagues. I did talk to Councilwoman Webb, to take it so lightly. It's wrong. It's wrong on all levels. I reached out to the state police in Wayne County because my family have a right, and I myself have a right to say and do as we please when it comes to voting and to be intimidated. Now, no other time of the year am I a target. No other time of the year have my property been targeted. Only during the election time. That says a lot. That says a lot. And I have a pretty good idea who's behind it and why they're doing it. Now, I know I don't accuse anyone in the city of Romulus. It's someone outside of the city of Romulus. But they're representing a candidate, okay? I'm not crazy. But this has to stop before somebody seriously get hurt. Don't tell me, no judge or anyone else tell me, well, why you didn't say anything? I didn't say anything in 20. I didn't. I made the report and then I just left it alone. I'm saying something now. And still nothing happening? Really? And I did talk to Councilwoman Webb, and she gave her, sorry that happened to you and your family. But I ain't received no other call. Not from the police chief. I mean, come on now. And that's why I say, Ms. Webb, it's not personal because you do call me. But it's the fact. I've been up here for 3.5 years. And most of my colleagues treat me like I got a plague.
Well,
I'm sorry. But I'm just saying. I'm saying this because this is in my heart. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, the rest of my colleagues. But y'all haven't been attacked. Y'all family having black paint all over your house. And then you got people on Facebook talking about the value or something. You haven't been in my house. The black paint, the damage of my home caused damage in the inside. Nobody know the story because I didn't talk about it. But don't sit up here and act like you don't know. Don't sit up here and act like you don't care. Because what happens to me and my family, the same thing can happen to you and yours. So you have to be careful. And I may not be loved or liked by some, but I do have some that do. And I love myself. And I love myself enough to stand up, not only for myself, but the people. We got the nerve in this world, in this city, I'll say, to celebrate Black History Month and Martin Luther King. And then people have to be tortured. It's all about voter suppression. I'm not going to be intimidated. I'm not. And especially from somebody from another city. When all the things was going on in the city, nobody said nothing. The previous council said nothing. And it's just like what's happening now. Nothing. It takes the residents. I didn't call nobody. They seen it on TV. Somebody seen it on Facebook. I don't know who put it out there driving down the street. But what I ask, anybody out there that seen it, please call me. Because I want to make sure nobody else have to suffer what we're suffering. Now we got to walk around like cowboy and Indians with guns on our waist. Because we don't know when we're going to become a target. I'm not going to put myself in jeopardy to lose my life and then everybody give me a wonderful funeral, but didn't care about me while I'm here. Don't be mad because I have the mindset and the standards to fight for what's right. The footprints that our four people made for us has disappeared. And I made a promise, and you can call it what you want, to stand for what's right, because I'm not falling for what's wrong, like it or not. Somebody got to do something. I didn't call you, Judy. I was so, and I'm still emotional and hurt because it's wrong. There's a billboard down the street, and it's a candidate running for council on the backside of me. I'm a target. When the police came to my house in 2020, you know what they did? They egged all the cars in the driveway twice, 2 different times. They came back and they told me, you're a target. They came back again, tore up everything on the patio. Everything. So it could never be used again. Call the police, you're a target. Well, hell, I knew at that time. And then after the election was over and the candidate that I wasn't supporting lost, that's when they threw the black paint all over the house. What did the police do? You're a target. Well, at that time we knew, but no protection, none. This is Romulus. Nobody knows. Everybody thinks that Romulus is so safe and everything is so wonderful. No, it's not. Something is wrong when you have an elected official, to say the least, that can't even get a tad bit of attention, a tad bit of protection. There's something wrong. And I say to the NAACP, because I didn't reach out to anyone, just distraught, just overwhelming I don't even know what it means. I don't know if they sending me a message. The police said they didn't know what it means. Why me? Why me? Why do every time we have an election, this second time in a row, why is it that I have to become a target? All I want to do is just make things fair for everybody. I'm not racist. I'm not unfair. I'm doing the will of God. I'm not talking about it. I'm doing it. I'm not afraid of man. I'm afraid of who made man. That's why I stand here. But I worry about the safety of my family, because I don't know who these maniacs is that have entered into our city, because it's not a resident. I can tell you that. Our residents wouldn't do that. It's somebody connected to somebody that entered into our city and damaged that billboard, sending me a message. Yes, my family is scared. Yes. But to actually not get a call from the police chief, that's unheard of. That's unheard of. To say, I'm sorry this is happening, we're gonna send somebody, well, we only had 3 on each shift, but we're gonna send somebody to do something, even just pretend. Nothing. And then, like I said, I didn't mean anything, Councilwoman Webb, I didn't, but you have to understand, to experience what I'm experiencing. And not one of my colleagues called me and say, Ms. Williams, I hope you okay. It's anything we could do, and I'm not putting you down, but I'm just expressing to you how I was left to be felt, how my family, because if it was any of my colleagues, I definitely would have dialed your number. So all I'm saying, this is serious. My life, my family life has been threatened. Okay? I don't want you guys to hear on the news or in the paper that my child or my husband or myself got shot and nobody knows why. I'm warning you all now. It's wrong, and somebody has to do something. And I know, like I said, I was so emotional when it happened. I'm telling you now, something. We can't allow these bullies to come into our city and torture our residents. We can't. We can't tolerate it. It's me now. Who will it be the next time?
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
You're
I'm sorry
welcome.
that it happened.
Okay, Mr. Wadsworth?
If I could, just a quick comment. You know, when one of us gets attacked, basically, it could be any of us up here. And I, am totally against what took place with your sign or with your house. And it was wrong, it was wrong, it was wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, that shouldn't be tolerated. Like they said, if something, I know it couldn't have been a Romulus resident, or anyone could have did something like that in our city. That is totally dangerous.
Yes.
Everybody in Romulus, any family, we try to protect each other. I'm not for wrong. You run a clean race and let the people decide who to vote for. we just have to stick together and watch out for each other, and hopefully this stuff don't happen again. So let's just hope and move forward that this never happened to no one else. Any other comments from,
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, I just wanted to ask, Ms. Stewart, did you finish making your comment? I know you asked the questions, but I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Was she
It's for
finished?
the record.
Thank you,
yes.
Ms. Stewart.
Okay.
Okay.
Council, my name is Crystal Price, longtime resident. Yes, and I'm back up at this podium again. Councilwoman Virginia, my heart is saddened right now because I know exactly what you're going through because I went through this same thing. I was discriminated against. Romulus Police Department to this day still have not answered any of my police reports. And my property was maliciously, deliberately destroyed. But that's okay because a day's coming. A change is coming. I've watched this councilwoman sit in this chair for the last 3 years and defend the people. She has a voice. And anytime somebody needs or has a question and they call Councilwoman Williams, she responds. And for all of you to sit up there is a very sad day that none of yous, although she said she spoke to you, Ms. Webb, contacted this council person to say, are you okay? And I was here a couple weeks ago when I asked you about the young man that was killed. Did any of you call the family to see if everything was okay? So this is something that's always being done with this board. And I'm so glad. I thank God that change is coming. I'm here today on the people's business. I discovered on a water bill. I understand, why is it not true that when a resident's water bill is over $300 that they are subject to disconnection? Can someone please answer that for me? Are they, yes or no? Chair?
Do we have the department here to answer her question?
I don't need the department, I'm asking you the question.
Well, I'm telling you, the
I'm
person that,
asking you,
if you want,
Chair.
I'm asking you to let me explain to you that the department handled this, not me. I don't shut you off.
I didn't say about shut, I said, if a resident's water bill is $300, are they subject to disconnection, yes or no?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are.
Yes, they are.
So there's different rules for thee and not me, because in my investigation,
Is that 3
I
minutes?
have a bill here.
That's 3 minutes.
Well, I'm asking for a few more minutes to explain this.
I'm gonna give you a few more minutes, okay?
Thank you.
And then I'm gonna have to shut you down.
For service address 1129 Wayne Road, which is the 34th District Court, I have a balance due of a water bill for $10,385.42. So I want to know, and I'm quite sure the residents want to know, how the 34th District Court cannot be delinquent, it can be delinquent and still on. This is a $10,000 bill, and I want to know, we want to know.
Do you really think, do you want me to answer that? Do you really think I can answer that? I'm not the court. Have common sense. Now, you think I said to answer something that $10,000 And I'm gonna answer your question with something that you and the court got to handle. I'm not gonna sit up here and answer that.
Who has to answer?
Did you say the court gave you that?
I didn't say anything about the court giving me.
What is the bill?
I said the bill, their water bill is $10,385.42.
I would suggest that you do some research and see what the problem is.
You want me to do that?
Yeah, because I had to
That's
do
the
it.
issue.
I had to do that. My bill was very high, and what I had to do is they had to come out.
This is not about your bill.
Pardon?
This is not about you.
What, I'm gonna give you a few more seconds and then that's it.
Excuse me. What needs to happen, because I seen that several weeks ago and I just been busy and hadn't addressed it, but what needs to happen is that, and Mr. Wadsworth, my colleague, did answer it and said, yes, I think it's $350. But what the city will do will allow you to make payment plans, but within a certain amount of time. Now, you're talking about over $10,000 worth, and it's been, if I'm not mistaken, several months. The court cannot have special provisions. They can't. And I'm sure what the water department normally tell the residents is that it's a leak. So I'm sure a brand new court don't have a leak. And if they do, it ought to be a shame. But you're talking about, even if a payment was made, because I asked a question and a payment was made of $2,000, that still leave over $8,000. So I would suggest, because evidently the judges don't think reality is real, so I would say that our administration, our city administration, need to send them a notice and give them till tomorrow, because it's already been several months. I mean, this go all the way back, and Maria sent it to you when she sent it to me, and I looked at it, but I just hadn't got around to it. This goes back, if I'm not mistaken, to June or so.
Yes,
So
it does.
the court needs to abide by the same rules we do. If they can't pay that bill, it needs to be off. I'm sorry. And so I would ask the administration to contact them and let them know. They say we can't tell them what to do. When we were asking about their budget, well, we can tell them what to do about paying the water bill.
That's right.
So we need to send them a notice, and I'm sure, Brian Oakley might be listening. Get your pennies or whatever together, and we should give them till tomorrow before closing to pay that full bill, or you go off. Because you shouldn't have special provisions over the residents.
That's what
You shouldn't. $10,000?
$10,000.
Let me share something with y'all. In 2000, I think it was 2015, I'm not for sure the year. Let me look and see. I just happen to have it with me. I wrote it down. This happened in 17. The court, some of the officials over at the court and some other residents rented, and this is why I worry, Mayor, Chief of Staff. They leased a building from the school, Merriman School, and they was gonna do this project, Romulus Outreach. And the agreement was that they leased it for $1 a year, but they were responsible to pay all the utilities. Well, it got to the point, they ran up all the utilities, and they said, hey, this is not going the way we want it to go, so they shut everything down. But the utilities still going. So the utilities was ran up to over $10,000. So what they did, they went in front of our school board, not the present, the former, and they asked them to forgive the debt. And the school board did. So they took money that's supposed to be educating our kids and forgave a debt that a judge, a local judge, was a part of. I want to make sure that's not done with us. I know I'm not going to sit up here and agree to forgive their water bill. Okay? So, and that's why I say there's so many things going on that they don't want the residents to know. How can you go, I don't think nobody in here ever been in front of a judge and you owe someone, and they say, we're gonna force them to forget a debt. Don't worry about it. So why should they get the same treatment? If the court don't pay that bill, the city will pay it, and who's the city? The taxpayers. So I would suggest that the administration notify them like ASAP and let them know. If they don't have that bill paid by closing tomorrow, cut them off. Teach them a lesson. They doing most of their cases on Zoom anyway. You know, it shouldn't happen. And these are some of the hidden things that take place that, you know, residents don't know about.
Don't know about, exactly.
So I answered that, yes. Like my colleague said, Mr. Wadsworth, I think it's $350 for the residents, but they will, the city will. Now, I'm being fair, they will work, no, they will work with you.
They'll work with you.
That you can make plans, payment plans,
Yes,
but $10,000, that's a bit much.
yes. And the only reason why they're doing that work with you now is because of COVID, but before that, you would go on a plan.
So I said that to say, we're done with that part, I've already addressed administration, so, you know, let's move on, because now it's in the hands of the administration.
All right. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Hi, my name is Belinda Everett, and I've been living in Romulus. I hate to say it too long. Anyhow, my heart goes out to Councilperson Williams with this racial intimidation. I have also been profiled racially when I lost my job due to a layoff. Closed it down. This was right after the public safety millage passed. 2 months later, the department was open. They closed the department down. They opened it back up and didn't bring back any of the people that were laid off, not fired. Not one of you could have anything to say. The only person who contacted me was Councilperson Williams. I didn't call her. She called me and said, what is going on? I campaigned for some of you. I thought you had my support, and I thought you guys had mine. It's a new sheriff in town. It ain't gonna happen.
Any other comments from the audience? Yes.
Dwight Helms. I haven't had any of my signs done like Miss Williams, but I've probably had about 75 stolen. I go around every day replacing 4 or 5, and I even have residents that won't put them back on their property because a couple of them cars was damaged with people going up in there and getting them. And you're right, police don't care. The city administration don't care. And don't any of you tell me you do, because I've told you time after time about this. And the police say, well, you got any proof? No. But we ain't got enough police on the road to do nothing. So she's not the only one getting stuff done, et cetera, to them. So I just want to let you know that it's happening to a lot of people. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? Yes, sweet, Ms. Walker.
Good evening. My name is Shannon Walker. I think somebody left his phone up here or something. First of all, I'd like to say that I was really shocked and appalled when my sister, who works downtown, called me. She says, what is happening in Romulus? And I said, what are you talking about? She said, you have a council person out there who they messed with a billboard or something? So I went on the TV and saw what had happened. And I called Mrs. Williams, and she didn't even know. She had no, she didn't even know that it had happened. I just feel like it's out of control. It is out of control to do something like that. That was an effort That's a billboard. We're talking about getting a ladder, getting up on a ladder to paint, and then put a border around it, because I went over and looked at it. That wasn't like somebody threw some paint up there. Somebody got up there and painted. And I just think that that's out of control. And I'm like, Ms. Williams, this gotta stop. This gotta stop, because somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to get hurt. The other thing that I wanted to ask about is the monument. The court is finished. All that's done. And nothing has been said. I mean, it came up once at a meeting. And I guess we're supposed to be having some kind of meeting or something to decide about a monument, where the monument is going to be, the whole bit. I have heard rumors, but I just would like to be included in a meeting to find out what we're gonna do. Because it was taken down, and I can't speak for anybody else, but I paid money to have bricks put there. It was $100 a brick, you know? And they said they were gonna put it back out in front of City Hall. We just need to find out something. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I could answer that question
Yes, go
real
ahead,
quick.
Chief.
Ms. Walker, so the committee did meet, I think a week or so ago, looking at a couple different options and also looking into some grants. I'm not part of the committee. What we've done as a staff, kind of assisting with the treasurer's office staff and the city assessor's office staff, was working on getting the mailing list to get a public notice out, and also to the owners of the bricks when the committee comes back with a recommendation. It's my understanding there's to be a public meeting so that the public is aware of what the plan is to restore it, and also for the owners of the bricks. There was getting that notice out to them as well, but a specific date hasn't been set yet. I know there was another sketch that came back last week, I think, that they were looking at. So I think they're close to scheduling that public meeting, but I agree. I know we all want to get it back out there and have it, restored. So stay tuned. And I promise you, as soon as, information is available when that meeting's scheduled, we'll want to get the word out to everybody, so.
Thank you. Any other comments? If there's no other comments, Madam Clerk, we'll close that part out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That takes us to number 9, unfinished business.
Unfinished business.
Number 10, new business.
New business.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I believe Mr. Waters had a question. I didn't know if Carol or someone can answer that as a future lighting situation down on Wayne Road. I know we have all voiced our opinion on lights down Wayne Road, so I don't know what the plan is for Wayne Road. I know there's going to be more development there, so I don't know if our planning or our engineer could speak on possibly lighting down Wayne Road. Border Street, I'm sorry. I don't know where I got Wayne Road. We need that there as well. Border Street, or either at least check it out for us and see where it is in regards to the lighting. I think he just left, but I do know that there is a special lighting assessment, but I'm not familiar with the street. But I think he needs to know that.
Mr. Chair, if I could respond to that.
Yes.
Ms. Webb, I do have that listed, and I
Okay.
will make sure that we get an update back. And unfortunately, he's back there. If I can get his
he's
phone number
back.
before he leaves, we'll make sure
Uh-huh.
we get a hold of him as well.
Yes. Mr. Waters? I meant Mr. Colson. Don't leave the meeting. We will be speaking with you. Someone will speak with you in regards to your concern with the lighting on Border. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, miss.
Is there any more new business? Takes us to number 11, warrant or approval is warrant number 21-2. 20.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion, we pay warrant 21-20 in the following amounts. General Fund, $90,485.76. Major Street Fund, $261,151.81. I think I said that wrong. Local Street Fund, $65,996.06. Public Safety Fund, $99,031.50. Cable TV, $248.23. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $8,456.48. Oakwood SAD, $145.54. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $2,171.95. NARC Forfeiture State, $36.07. Library Fund, $16,457.78. DDA, $3,343.74. Tifa District 2, $1,149,989.75. CIP bonds for the court building, $707,987.50. E-course and binding capital improvement bonds, $1,010,012.50. Water and street fund, $883,881.31. Motor vehicle, $13,084.88. Technology services, $264.81. Retiree insurance benefits, $58,311.60. Revolving fund, $52,167.79. General tax fund, $12,375. Current tax, $215,737.04. Payroll, $205,800.26. Total of all funds, $4,857,137.36.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 21-20 for $4,857,137.36. Any discussion?
Yes.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I have questions on this warrant. The original warrant I received was $6,947,909. Okay, so then I received amended. But I'm looking up under motor vehicle. The original payment for motor vehicle, which was total fund number 661, was $123,997. So then the new amended one is $13,000. What a big difference.
She made a mistake. There was a new person in the office who made a mistake on the warrants, a clerical error, and I spent most of the afternoon talking with our finance person, and she said that ignore the old one, go with the new warrant, the one that we just got in the mail, the amended. It was a clerical error, and they were fixing it.
Clerical, all through here?
Yeah.
So you're talking about, hold on, math teacher, you're talking about $6,947,000. You're talking about $7 million. So now you tell me it goes down to $4,857,000? I'm just looking at the numbers.
It was $4 million.
$4 million, okay,
Yeah.
$4 million.
They added an extra day. She overlapped them. And
She did a lot of things.
Yeah, and then
She did a lot of things. And so my thing is this, I don't agree. I didn't have time because I didn't know this was coming, because I didn't get a chance to look at my email, so I see it in the hard copy. I don't agree. It's a lot of errors in here. Right at $7 million to pay for this, and then this one is $123,000, almost $124 for a motor vehicle. And then she made an error, and now all of a sudden it's $13,000?
I spent the afternoon on the phone with her.
I don't care what you spent.
Okay.
I'm saying,
just saying that.
what I'm saying, because sometimes math teacher, you could be wrong.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is.
My name is Miss Abdo, it's not math teacher.
Well, but you're the math teacher, that's why you spend time with the finance director. All I'm saying, this is a major error. I didn't get this amended one until I got here. I understand what council say.
I understand.
She's a finance director. She give it to us. You're talking about spending money. Now, how do you go from 123 to 13? And I looked at the warrant. Some of the bills were being paid that we already approved.
That's what she corrected.
No. I'm not even gonna go through that, just no.
Okay.
John, if I could just go quick.
Yes, go ahead,
If you
Mr.
Look at the
Wadsworth.
water and sewer, there's a big difference of 1.2 million.
There was so much taken
That's
off.
it.
Oh, excuse me, I did have this, let me say this.
Where is it?
The court bond, that CIP, is that the bond that the court pays for the building of the court? CIP bond, court building? Is that the payment for the court bond that they're responsible to pay?
I believe so.
So it's 700, it's normally 300 and some thousand? 350,000, am I correct?
This is the,
Is it?
this is the new one.
Somewhere, and so now it's double, so we're paying double?
Okay,
So we're paying double?
hold on.
Right here. CIP bond, 707.
And where's the CIP bond here? 707, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
According to the finance director, the amended bond, the amended warrant is the corrected one.
I understand that, and I
Okay.
still say no, because,
Okay.
I mean, what I'm asking now, the court is paying a bond, we're paying a bond, so did we get the money actually from the court, or is it coming out of the general fund? Because I know, I was told that they were gonna be a little short, and then I'm looking at that that $10,000 water bill. I wanna make sure we're not doing anything to help them out.
I understand.
So, and normally they only pay one payment, so they was behind?
That one I can't answer, I'm going to defer to you, Chief of Staff.
I mean, I'm just saying, so I stay no, you don't have to say anything, Chief of Staff.
Well, I can answer this one. So the
Okay.
bond payment was made through the court bond payment account. I can't quote you on what the account number is, but I can tell you that it is paid through that account that's been established through the court. As it relates to the warrant, it was absolutely a clerical error. The checks weren't cut in those amounts. Unfortunately, when the young lady ran the report, and she's doing a great job, but, errors happen. And thankfully, we had a resident that called me this morning that caught it. And what happened was she added additional days into the report schedule. So instead of it being 2 weeks or whatever it was, she picked up 2 or 3 extra days, and that's how your report was generated. That's why you got an amended report tonight. And I agree, it looks inappropriate, but the numbers are correct. And Maria did go through everything with her today, and we do apologize.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even just, and that's what I'm saying, because I reviewed it. And it's not just picked up days, it's like requests for payments were made 2 council meetings ago, or either 1 council meeting ago. So some, like the Comerica bank account on the credit card, that was already paid, we already approved that maybe 2 weeks ago. And then now she's asking us to approve it again, so I'm just looking at it, it's pretty thick. I'm just saying, end of the time, and, I just don't agree. That's a big error, that's a big typo. To go from almost $7 million and still right at $5 million. And I haven't seen a city warrant that big since I've been here. I haven't. And I know I kind of watch it pretty good, so, I mean, no big deal. I just say no. I just want to cover myself, and I don't agree. Thank you.
Chair.
Yes, Ms. Roscoe.
And it is a big deal. I mean, you can't say it's no big deal, because we've never gotten a warrant and then an amended warrant with this big of a difference. And so you do have concerns, and I mean, and we all should. And if we had the finance director here, she could tell us exactly how and what happened. I don't know if, what step to take as far as approving it or not approving it tonight. I don't see why we can't table it until next week. It's not like we have a couple weeks, it's not like we have our break, our 2-week break or what have you. I mean, if we need more clarification, we need more clarification.
Yeah, oh, I understand that, but I don't think we can table a warrant, because, see, these bills are being paid. They set up in the computer to go out. If
I
you take
understand.
the very top one, general fund,
Oh, I understand.
the mistake was $155,000, but when she she amended it, that it even dropped that to 90,000. That's why it went from 6 million down to 4 million. But all we can do is vote no, yay or nay, but we can't, I can't vote to table a warrant.
Okay.
But we can vote no on it or yes, but not to table it.
Okay, calling for
All right.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
No.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
No.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
John, tell her to be quiet.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Number 12 is communication.
Chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a
Ms. Talley.
couple of quick things. We had a couple of ribbon cuttings in our city, one at Hannon and North Line Road, one of our most dangerous intersections. The mayor met with Warren Evans and Wayne County Commissioner Al Haydes, who approved a joint effort to redesign and reconstruct the entire intersection. And this was noticed at the ribbon cutting, traffic flowed freely, and it looks great. And my prayer is that we will continue these discussions with Wayne County to work on the other areas of our city in joint efforts to help our roads as well. So I want to shout out regarding that ribbon cutting at Hannon and North Line Road, and also at Huron River Drive pathway at 5 points on Huron River Drive. That was a ribbon cutting there for a pathway that's open there. And then just my final thing I want to do a shout out to, and it's actually piggybacking off Mr. Miller and his praise in the Lord. We had a church open yesterday, Rise Church. Pastor Aaron and Sheena Hicks had a worship service at the Marriott yesterday. It's every Sunday, 10 a.m. Invite you to go out there and support one of our newest churches in the city of Romulus. It was a fantastic worship experience, and we praise the Lord. Thank you.
John.
Thank you, Ms. Talley. Ms. Williams?
Yeah. I want to show the residents of what me and my family is dealing with. And I asked Gary in the basement to get a good look at this. Because this should not be happening. To me, none of my colleagues, or anyone else. This, I don't know what it says. And that's what makes us afraid. Is they sending us a message? And then I get no call from the police, no call from anyone to say, hey, we're gonna make sure we keep an eye on you guys. I got grandchildren. I have 5 children, 12 grandchildren. Come on now. This cannot happen in our city. I know Councilwoman Talley speaks of all the wonderful things that's happening in our city, and I speak of all the wrong things that's happening. So we're on the same page, we just on a different side. Because I'm gonna tell the truth. This should not be happening. I actually reached out for prayer to 5 ministers in this city. Not one respond. Shameful. Shameful. Not sorry it happened to you and your family. Nothing. I'm praying for you. But we supposed to be proud of Romulus. I'm not putting down Romulus because who did this don't come from Romulus. It's somebody that entered our city doing a favor for someone else. It's not a Romulus resident. I can promise you that. But this right here should not be happening. It shouldn't. And I say that, my kids, I have my son here tonight. Anytime they feel they have to drive from their home to follow their mom, to make sure she gets home safe, that's sad. He has a life. Why should they be worried about their mom because she's only speaking up and representing what's fair and right for the people? I'm going to say this, and I mean it. I mean it. It's time out. If I can't get protection, and you can let the judges at 34th District Court every judge in the circuit court, the 36th court, the Court of Appeals, and the Supreme Court is aware of what's happening to me and my family. So we won't even go to the 34th District Court. But we're at a point where we have to protect ourselves. What do? Lose our lives? This cannot happen. And what you see as far as the paint is nothing to the damage that went inside. Okay? Nothing. Nothing to do with the damage of all the cars from the eggs. Everybody knows what egg does to paint. So I say this in closing, seriously. This should not have happened to me and my family, or no other colleague up here, nor no resident, nor business. Stop it. Call the dogs off, because that's what it is. One thing I know, people only do things that they're told to do. Taking a chance of risking their lives and getting up in the air and taking their time to paint that. That's professionally done. That's not a kid. That's not a kid. That paint wasn't through on that billboard like it was on my home. They lift a bucket or something, and they got up there, and they took their good time and drew that, whatever it means. It's some type of message down there. But I pray that anybody, whether they're in the city, passing by, if you've seen anything or you heard anything, please contact me. Don't even contact Romulus Police. They ain't do nothing. Contact me so I can get it to the right hands. Because I'm tired of people playing with my life that's supposed to help protect my life. And I say that with all seriousness. Anybody out there, please contact me so I can give that information to the right authorities that's going to do something about. Now see, and I'm telling you, it may be me today, but who says who's going to be tomorrow? So please, even my colleagues, you hear anything, let us know. Because every time we have an election and I choose one candidate over another, I got to be violated, harassed, threatened? No. And as I said to administration, I'm sorry, I was just overwhelmed with everything. I didn't say anything in 2020, but this right here is getting too close. It's a continuation, and we have to stop it. We have to stop. And like I said, police, the ministers, nothing. Nothing. And we got unity? Unity? Really? What we have to make sure is that we really start helping each other and loving on each other and speaking up, because nobody will stop doing the evil and the wicked things that they're doing to me and my family if we don't speak up for each other. We have to speak up. You heard something, you seen something, say something, because I will do it for y'all. Thank you.
Through the chair, if I may say something.
Yes, Ms.
In
Webb.
regards to that, and I'll say it again, we all sorry what happened. I'm definitely sorry what happened to Virginia in regards to her billboard. That, if it's professionally done, a graffiti artist, that's just like me being Leonardo da Vinci or somebody. You're going to always be able to tell my painting. And if there is one out there listening, come forward, because all they have to do is look at it and they can tell you exactly who did it, because that's like a fingerprint. That's for people who may not realize that. But that graffiti, it's like a fingerprint.
There's the same work done on Lambert signs too. That's correct.
It was on Lambert's. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's move.
I just have something.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, on the positive side, I just want to bring up that last Thursday, we hosted the Daddy-Daughter Dance, which is very popular in the city, at the RAC building, and it was a great turnout, and I want to thank Tanya Cofield for all the work and effort she put into it.
Thank you.
Okay.
If there is no more communication, that takes us to number 13, adjournment, and the time is 9:37.
So moved. Support.
been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb? Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes, we are adjourned. Thank you.